Thank you for listening to DotLife, which is available on Spotify, YouTube, and Apple. Cheers, and welcome to our little podcast, DotLife, which is all about the stories and happenings around Dorchester and other bits and bobs. I'm joined today by my best mate, a chap called Bill Forry.
Hello. Hello, Governor.
I can't do this the whole episode.
Please don't.
Yeah, I think
we want to try to keep some audience around here. But do they talk like that in Dorchester?
Yeah.
Okay?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. It's
Okay.
charming. They do it better than I do, obviously. But
Well, I don't know. That sounded pretty good.
I talk to a lot of Brits on a day-to-day basis, actually.
So, welcome home, first of all. And, we're all happy that you're back at the anchor desk.
Yeah, me too.
So, how was it?
It was great. It was so much fun. They were lovely. They had everything laid out ready for me. So excited to talk to me and show me all of the parts of Dorchester, not just the parts that were relevant to our story, but like the Neolithic period, the Roman period. So we've got lots coming up in the next segment. Make sure you stay tuned for that.
I'm going to listen in, but before you go right into that, this is kind of a collective narcissism I'm showing. Are they interested in us at all? Like,
Yes.
Do they know about the Dorchester, USA, the most important one here?
I think not as much as you might want them to.
That seems very British, that they
Yeah.
really don't give a shit.
That's nice. Yeah.
Well, we can't wait to see it. We've been waiting with bated breath and teasing this out for a couple of
I
weeks
know.
now. So this is the big climactic Dorchester UK episode. So stay tuned for that.
Yeah, very excited to share all of the great conversations. I want to thank all the people who made it possible again, and we'll do a formal thank you at the end of the episode. But this is also followed by a great British band that I was able to make contact with while I was there. So this is the DotLife UK edition.
The Tiny Desk is going international this week.
It sure is. It sure is.
Did you find a place, because this I know was a big point of concern before you left, did you find a place to watch your beloved Bills play American football in London?
So a friend of mine in Manchester sent me his dodgy streaming, and they were quite dodgy. I had to go through several of them before I found one that actually played, and I probably killed my laptop forever. But I stayed up watching the Bills lose to the Falcons until 4 a.m. So it was nice.
Well, the Falcons beat the Bills. I wonder how the Patriots are going to do against the Falcons this coming weekend.
I hope about the same.
Yeah, I don't know. Drake May's on a roll.
I'm so sick of hearing about Drake May. He's the young Josh Allen.
Well, welcome to Boston. Welcome home.
We had a nice decisive victory this weekend, 40-9.
Congratulations.
Nice. Yeah, over the Carolina Panthers, the mighty Carolina Panthers.
Well, at the moment, and I know we're recording this on Thursday, October 30th, but I think the Patriots are atop the Bills in the AFC East. Is that correct?
Did you know that the Sabres are ahead of the
changing the
Bruins
subject?
in the standings?
Yes, I did. The
Which
Bruins
is
are not off to a
shocking.
great start, to be
Yeah.
honest. But anyways,
We play you tonight,
yes,
Thursday night. Yeah,
good luck.
yeah, thank you.
So we're going to talk some news this week,
I
or are we just going to
suppose-
talk all Buffalo Bills and Dorchester, UK?
I suppose we can talk about the news. I want to thank you before we get into it for carrying the weight.
It was
in my
a
absence.
great burden on me
You're
to
a
come
fantastic
crawl
host.
out of my office 30 feet away from here and do the. Thank you. I enjoyed doing it, but I think order has been restored in the universe here now. So welcome back, and I had fun talking to Seth and Yahoo last week. It was a good time. And Linda the week before, and
Cassidy. Yeah.
Cassidy McNeely stole the show in my view. But
I don't understand how I leave and everybody comes out of the woodwork to do these.
it took all these other people to make up for one
Oh.
person being off the desk. So, but everybody wants to come back, and they will. And there might be a new face next week. And
Okay.
we'll talk about that later.
Very exciting. So today we're going to talk about 4 stories. We've got voting because election day is next week.
Voting's still going on.
Yeah. One of the great establishments in Dorchester is making some moves, restaurants.
Yep.
A new condo plan, always a great topic.
Always condos in the paper
Everybody
somewhere.
loves that.
Yep.
And a new award that got handed out. So
Yeah.
where do you want to start?
To an old organization. I guess we'll start with the election because
Yeah.
as people are listening to this, they may be listening over the weekend as they're heading into election day, which is Tuesday, November 4th.
Mhm.
We're down to the wire here, and really the only election that's still in play is city council.
Yeah.
Mayor Wu will win decisively against blanks probably on Tuesday.
I voted for Mayor Wu. I don't know if you did.
I haven't voted yet. I am going to be voting on Tuesday this time instead of
Okay.
the early voting. I decided to hold off and join the the swarms of
You want the
people who come out.
sticker? Is that
Well, they gave me a sticker last time when I voted at Florian on a
Nice.
Thursday. It was very quiet in there. But I am going to vote at Lower Mills Library on Tuesday at some point.
okay?
And the polls, just as a reminder, open 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. on Tuesday, November 4th, in all the polling locations across the city. So we did have early voting going on over the last week. And from our reporting, that first weekend yielded about just over 2,000 voters citywide at the 10 locations that were open Saturday and Sunday. Not a
Pretty
good
low,
turnout, but
yeah.
not a big surprise. I mean, we had a 23% turnout in September for a preliminary election that featured a competitive mayoral election.
Mhm.
So just under 100,000 Bostonians voted in September. I don't think we'll hit that mark probably.
Do you think
and
there'll be
unfortunately-
more trick or treaters in Melville Park than there will be voters on election day?
Melville Park, deserves a little break. So no, I hope for their sakes they're not going to get bombarded that way. Over the whole Dorchester, maybe.
Yeah.
So I don't think we'll, and really, I hope that I'm wrong. I hope that we have an unusual burst of civic energy and
Yeah.
we break 30%, which doesn't sound great either, but getting to 20% we'll be lucky on Tuesday. And the real contest is at large city council and also in parts of Roxbury, parts of Dorchester. District 7 does have a competitive
Yeah.
open seat for District 7. But it's not likely to be a huge turnout without the mayoral ticket at the
Right.
top.
Are you in the prediction business?
Yeah, we did some predictions last week, and honestly, my predictions are different than the endorsements we did in the paper, which
Okay.
I already heard from somebody's like, "What are you doing?" We made only 2 endorsements, and both for at-large city council. We endorsed Ruth C. Louise Nguyen and Will Onyuhoa,
Okay.
two candidates that the reporter ownership, me and Linda basically put our endorsements out on Monday, and there's 8 very good candidates in my view, for citywide council. So everybody's going to have their vantage point. We made a recommendation based on our observations of these 2 candidates over the last year,
Okay.
and about how we see this, the council and its role under a round 2 of Mayor Wu.
Yeah.
And the check and balance that would be good to have.
So that's your endorsement, but what's your prediction?
My prediction from last week is I think I'm going to
Still
stick
sticking with it?
Yeah.
Remind me, it
yeah.
was Frank, right? Frank Baker?
I didn't go with Frank Baker. Seth said
did,
that Frank
okay.
Baker would come in 4th. I went Louise Nguyen, Mejia, Murphy, and Santana.
Santana.
So
it's the
basically,
same.
who
Yeah.
won in September?
Yeah.
Frank Baker, I think, is a wild card and could very well pick off
Yeah.
the 4th spot. He has some energy behind him for sure. But there's other candidates, and I mentioned Will Onyuhoa. He's been endorsed. He's run the table on endorsements from the
He has.
the media in the last
Yeah.
week in terms of the ones who endorse. He got the Globe, he got the Herald,
Yep.
he got the Banner, and he got the Reporter, which is speaks
Something,
says
yeah.
something about the breadth, and those are very different news organizations,
Right.
all 4 of them.
I hadn't heard much about him until the general, so
Yeah.
he's doing something.
Lives in Dorchester, very experienced city hall professional and an attorney. Grew up in Mission Hill, son of Nigerian immigrants. He's got a very interesting narrative.
Yeah. What about District 7? Anything there?
District 7, we did not make an endorsement, but I don't have a prediction
It's
in
pretty
D7.
close, isn't it?
Anything could happen.
Yeah.
As Yawu Miller said last week, this preliminary election is really an illustration in why ranked choice voting might make sense.
Yeah.
11 candidates narrowed down to 2, and neither of them, I think, broke 15% of the
Nobody
vote.
did. Yeah.
Yeah, right. So, and both interesting candidates, Saeed Ahmed, who they call Coach,
Mhm.
and Minyard Culpepper, very different candidates. One is, I think he's around 30 years old or thereabouts.
Oh.
The other is in his 70s and is a veteran. Culpepper, Reverend,
Yeah.
very active throughout the decades here in Boston. So voters have a very clear choice or very distinct choice there in D7. So we'll see, but I don't have a prediction. That could go either way.
How soon do you think we'll know then?
I think we'll know by 9 p.m.
Okay.
Yeah, I think 9 p.m. because of the way the city is pretty efficient in getting the results tabulated at the polls. By the way, .news.com and on our affiliated social media platforms on Tuesday night is a good place to check in and get early
Yeah.
bellwether precincts. We'll have a whole bunch of people out on Tuesday getting real-time results, putting them on basically on Twitter, X, and Blue Sky.
Are you putting Yahoo on an e-bike again, or?
Yeah, and well, no question. I mean, the man loves his e-bike, and he's going to be covering D7, obviously, and at large, and moving around the city. But we have like 8 or 9 reporters out on the street that night.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good. All right.
Stay tuned, and we'll talk about the results next week.
Cool. We've got an existing eatery that's making some expansion plans into Four Corners. This is Merle's Kitchen.
Yeah. Very popular Jamaican takeout place.
Takeout only right now, right?
Right now, pretty much. I mean, it might be a little corner of the shop that you can eat at, but no, it's not known for sit-down dining. And what's exciting, there's a couple of things exciting about this. Merle's Kitchen, first of all, is hugely popular.
Yeah.
Seth has been telling me about it for years, and then when we posted about it earlier this week, it's like exploded gone viral on Facebook, etc. All these folks love Merle's Kitchen, and they really are excited about being able to sit down in a dining room
with a drink,
with a cocktail. They will be having a liquor license and I think it's a 9-seat bar, so not a huge bar, but not bad. And it's in a new building called Four Corners Plaza, which is on Bowden Street. So they'll be going, just around the corner, not too far from where they are now on Washington Street, in a bigger space. And they'll be the ground level tenant of a new building, which is owned and just built by the Common Square Neighborhood Development Corp. And in a section of Dorchester that's been underinvested in for decades, and it's starting to literally turn the corner. There's another 7-story building that's going up right across the street that's been approved. That'll also have a restaurant in the first story called Down Home Delivery, another popular restaurant in Dorchester.
Okay.
But Merle's occupies a unique and a favored space for a lot of folks because of their Jamaican specialties, their jerk chicken, their jerk mac and cheese, which is maybe the best thing on the menu there.
I've never heard of that. That sounds amazing.
People come far and wide for the jerk mac and cheese. And it's just exciting to see a Dorchester business that's making that step up. And this is what I think a lot of us had hoped for with more liquor licenses being offered, and these new buildings in parts of Dorchester that, Bowden Street and Four Corners has not been a boom town in previous decades. And now, with some investment and some approval and encouragement from City Hall and other quarters, we're starting to see some activity. So very exciting news there for Merle's and their fans, and I think that helps lifts the tide for other restaurants in the neighborhood too.
Yeah, and that Codman area needs more development and more.
We've talked about how Codman is really, seeing a lot of vacancies lately.
Yeah.
I think there is some momentum that comes with a place like Merle's moving up, and that'll help the whole stretch of Washington Street, which could use it.
Yeah.
Could use a boost.
Yeah, definitely. Let's shift down to. Is this considered Ashmont? I don't know. Maybe it's Cedar Grove.
I think it's Cedar Grove. You're talking about the Granite Ave project.
Granite Ave project. So you've got some new condos planned. People don't like this idea?
Well, there's a mix. So this is 157 Granite Ave, which is right across the street from, do you know where the park is? Right by the drawbridge at Granite Ave.
Yes.
It's called Neponset 2 Park.
Linda's Bridge or Linda's Crossing. Yeah.
Linda's Crossing. And Marty Walsh too helped with that. So this is a parcel that used to be part of Seagrove Cemetery in question. It was sold a number of years ago to a private developer who has always intended to build housing here.
Okay.
And his proposal now is for 24 units of condo, 25 parking spots, in a parcel that's between an existing office building right by the Greenway and an existing condo or apartment complex that I think has roughly that number, maybe a little bit more units, like 30 units.
These are mostly 2 bedrooms going into this new one, right? Okay.
Right. And it's the developer is Dennis Kahane, who's built some projects like this in the Lower Mills, Dorchester and Neponset area. And yes, there's been a couple of public meetings in the last 2 years about this project. There was one last week, which one of our reporters, Karina Chung, watched and reported on. And yeah, there's people who are concerned about the how it's going to impact the traffic in particular. This
There is
is
a light there, right?
Yeah.
Will that not, it won't be parallel to the light though, right? Or,
it's right basically where the light is.
so will that regulate the parking lot or
They're going to
no?
have to change the configuration of the signals there, which
Okay.
is one of the things people are raising as a concern.
Yeah.
They also have to move the crosswalk that's there. Right
When
at
does
the,
crosswalk?
no, that's the
Oh.
one by the bridge for the Greenway. This is a crosswalk for folks right at the corner of Hilltop Street
Okay. Yep.
and Granite Ave, which is a busy intersection. And coming right off the highway, people coming off 93, and they tend to stack up there. And when the bridge is up, of course, there's a
Yeah.
lot of congestion.
And that right turn only lane that nobody pays attention to. Yeah, they're gonna have to.
And they
start
used to have a
enforcing
lot
that.
of they used to have regular enforcement. People are always getting bagged at that intersection, and the locals knew it. They'd be like, "Oh, that person's about to get pulled over."
Yeah, yeah.
And that's not happening
No.
anymore. And maybe they need to think about more enforcement on that. But you're right. People abuse that turn all the time and cut everyone off. It's annoying.
Yeah.
But in order for this development to work, they have to create a new curb cut, a new egress, and I've seen comments on our coverage saying that's too much. It's the common refrain pretty much from every development we see is too many units. Where's the parking? Well, this has
Traffic.
parking.
This has more parking than units.
It has 25
that very
parking
often.
spots for 24 units. So, but as you mentioned, some of these are two
Yeah.
bedrooms, and
But it's not near transit, really, as our bus stuff.
well, it's near the Cedar Grove trolley station. You can walk there
That's true.
within 5 or 7 minutes.
You'd have to
depending
go
on
up and
how
then
fast you are.
down Milton Street there.
Yeah, you'd take the Milton Street to cut it. It's not that bad of a walk, honestly, in good
Jump
weather.
the cemetery wall and cut through.
Bobby McEachern will not like people trespassing through the cemetery all hours, but he doesn't mind you cutting through there when it's open. It is right part of this. It's a parcel that used to be part of the cemetery that was obviously unused.
I hope so.
We're not going to have a poltergeist situation going on here. This was ledge. If you go by there, it's like a lot of parts of Dorchester in that section. A lot of Roxbury pudding stone ledge that's going to have to be removed for this project. So there'll be probably a bit of noise involved in that. But I think that this project at 24 units is probably going to go through the city.
Yeah.
I mean, from all indications we've seen of prior history of approvals, I think that the real sticking point is that traffic configuration and getting buy-in from the neighborhood about that.
I mean, let's be honest, it could be improved. It's not
Yeah.
perfect, the traffic configuration now. So I think it's fine if we have to rethink it a little
I
bit.
think once in a while we should be rethinking these
Yeah.
intersections and engaging with Boston Transportation Department. And by the way, our friends in Milton, because their traffic signals impact ours. And
Do we have friends in Milton?
we do. I have lots of friends in Milton. I don't know about you.
Yeah, I used to work in Milton. I used to work at Steel and Rye.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
There's some good folks over there, and they have their own plans for developing sections of Milton that are close to us.
Well, they have to, right?
They
Like,
had to,
yeah.
and they did, and they approved it after some resistance.
Right.
But that stretch of Granite Ave on the Milton side for sure could see some development. I say could. They're not mandated to do it. They're mandated to plan it and zone it.
I thought they were mandated to put it near train stops.
They are, but in other words, what they have to do is they have to zone it for that.
Okay.
They're not mandating that it be
They just
built.
have to rezone it because they aren't building it. It's private development.
Right, exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
okay.
So very well could see more units of housing on the Milton side of Granite Ave. So people are raising that too and saying,
Yeah.
this could get too much real fast. But I think a property in that location, especially since it's next to existing housing,
Yeah.
is likely to get approved.
I mean, it's bordered by other housing, an office building, and a cemetery. Like, if you can't get housing put in there, I don't know what to do.
I agree, and I think it will probably happen. But just for transparency, there is a public comment period still going on through October 31st. And you can go to .news.com, you can go to bostonplans.org to find the link, read more about the project, and if you don't like it, or if you do, they like to get your
Yeah.
comments on it.
Probably got a lot more antis than pros. So,
So far, that's
Yeah.
what I've seen. Yep,
not that there are more antis than pros, but
tends to be
It's who tends to talk,
the vocal opponents tend to come out.
yeah. So, do you remember back in our Ashmont Hill episode, we had Vicky Rugo on the pod?
Yes,
She talked about Dorchester's horse histories, house histories.
I think you're just trying to get me to say the word horse, and I'm not really sure what. But yes, I do remember that episode, and I'm a big fan of the Dorchester House History Project, which
Yeah.
Dorchester Historical Society has been doing now for like a decade. And just last week, and we have a story in last week's Reporter about they won an award from the Boston Preservation Alliance to give them props for doing all this work. There's more than 600 of these house histories.
That's a ton.
Yeah, it's great. It's great historical content
Yeah.
that is also available. Anybody can read it on the DHS website.
So you
And
can just request that they look into your house if it's a certain age, and they'll give you the history on it.
yeah, there is a small fee. It's
Okay.
reasonable. It's like, it's like $50 or something.
Jeez, yeah.
It really is a volunteer effort by DHS to look into these properties all over Dorchester. Tend to be 19th century, early 20th century
Okay.
properties mainly.
Our UK friends would scoff at that.
I
It's
know
So new.
we're such rookies, but in the scheme of things here, these are homes that are most of them built in the mid to late 1800s,
Mhm.
and the reason there's so many of these, obviously that was kind of a boom time for the neighborhood, and there's a lot of public records out there that the DHS volunteers go look and can easily access
Mhm.
with some work. They have to go and actually physically go and look at these documents often, and then they compile it and they give you a house report. And if you want, you can also buy a historic marker for your home, which
Yeah.
has the date that it was built.
And does it have the person if there was like a
Yes,
notable?
the architect.
Oh, the architect. Okay.
Or the notable person,
Yeah.
if you decide to do that.
Yeah.
So in our case, we did this. Linda and I had our house history done a few
nice.
years ago, and Kayla Skillen was the volunteer historian who did the work. She gave us a really interesting 15-page report on our home, which was built in roughly 1878. They had to
Okay.
estimate it a little bit by a guy named Walter Swan, who was the first occupant of our home, and he built the house.
I hope that your plaque says Forry though, because you're the notable, and Linda.
I don't think we have a notable on there. We're not that presumptuous yet, but Walter Swan's name isn't on it either. So I guess
Okay.
that says something. But it does have the date, which is really cool, and you'll see them around the neighborhood. It's like an oval, cream colored marker which
Yeah.
you put on. Very confusing for people who think our address is 1878 Richmond Street. It's not. But it does give you that feel, and there's a lot of historic homes in
Yeah.
Lower Mills and Ashmont.
Moultrie was mentioned in here as Moultrie
Mhm.
Street is one of the
Yeah.
ones that got recently went through the project, and that Moultrie is gorgeous.
Gorgeous.
Yeah.
Jones Hill,
Yeah.
Upham's Corner,
Savin Hill.
all sections of Dorchester really are home to amazing, historic, interesting homes for lots of reasons. Not only the people who lived here, but the architecture. And in our case, the first occupant, Walter Swan, was a Civil War veteran who, fought for the Union, like a lot of the men of that era in Dorchester, and he survived it and came and built a lot of the homes in our area, including a couple across the street from us. There's a little street called Swan Court, which is named for him. We knew a little bit of that history, but what's really cool is they really detail it,
Yeah.
and they give you, kind of an annotated history, so you can go do more research of your own. There's photos, there's architectural plans. It's really a wonderful
That's
service.
really neat.
So, salute to the DHS, Earl Taylor, Vicky Rugo, their whole team, and people like Marty Glenn and Kayla Skillen and others who serve as the volunteers to make it happen. It's great that they're getting recognized, and it's really cool that it promotes it, because other people in the neighborhood, if your home that you live in or that you own or whatever is of interest to you, this is a great thing to do. And you can go to the Dorchester Historical Society website, fill out the form. It's real simple.
I'm sure they're taking volunteers too, if you're interested.
Yeah, I'm sure they
in
are.
that history.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Very cool. What's going on next week besides the election? Are you
Yeah,
ready for election season to be over?
I kind of am.
Yeah.
I feel like we're so close. I'm looking forward to moving on.
Yeah.
We're going to be doing a lot of reporting. We are this week. It's just not ready yet, about Marcy Boulevard. The commission final report was published to the legislature last week. It's a big report. It's longer than the draft, so we're still combing through it. We're asking our lawmakers for a reaction and what's next. Like, we got a report. We have a lot of engineering details now. We have cost estimate, and they're huge. They're big numbers, like
Really?
almost $1 billion in the worst case scenario. So the real question is, okay, are we going to actually do this now? Or are we going to pay, how are we going to pay for it?
I'm sure Trump will fund it.
Oh, he's taking away all the public works projects from Massachusetts. So, if he's not going to build the Cape Cod bridges, I don't know if he's going to care much about Morrissey.
Or the
Boulevard.
Harvard overpass. Didn't that one get in too? Yeah.
Like everything's getting stripped. So that's part of the story, right? Is like, in this environment, do we, what do we expect from the state and the city for big infrastructure projects? Or, realistically, we're going to have to wait a while.
And how long can we wait when it's already crumbling in places, right? Like the bridges.
Mm-hmm. The bridges, Morrissey is inundated. At some point, there's not going to be an alternative but to do it. But is it tomorrow? Is it next year? Probably not.
Oh, I can't wait to talk about this next week.
It's coming up.
Yeah. What are you gonna do for Halloween?
I'm not trick-or-treating because my daughter has a volleyball game and it's going to take us past trick-or-treating time, at least the conventional hours that are respectable. But we will be partying on Richmond Street. Obviously, there's a block party on Butler Street, so a lot of the kids and a lot of the families are excited about going to that. And
you have a costume?
I do. I have a costume. It's a secret.
Share? Okay.
Maybe there might be a photo that comes out of Friday evening. We'll see. We'll see. I'm kind of proud of it, actually. So I don't want to get ahead of myself, but yeah, I'm excited about it.
Esther and I are going as Wesley and Inigo Montoya from The Princess Bride.
Okay.
Yeah. We have swords, so
I don't think swords are a good idea for my party. If you're coming to my party, we'll
check our swords.
Yeah, we'll check them at the door like everyone else.
Yeah. Well, have fun for Halloween. It's on Friday. I love that.
Yeah. This year, Halloween fell on a weekend, and I love it.
Yeah, same.
All right.
All right. Well, we'll see you out there. Week.
Thanks, Erin.
Bye. DotLife is sponsored in part by the Dorchester Reporter, Dorchester's own community newspaper and online home for all things Dorchester at dotnews.com. The Reporter, owned and operated by the Forry family, has been laser focused on Dorchester and the surrounding neighborhoods of Boston since 1983. That longevity and experience shows in its award-winning coverage every week. The Reporter is our go-to source for authentic stories about the people, places, and events that matter most to our daily lives. We are proud to partner with The Reporter and .News. And you can support the important journalism provided by The Reporter. Just go to .news.com to subscribe today. It's the best deal in town and helps keep our local community journalism alive and well. Hey, DotLife fam. This week's interview looks slightly different than our usual coverage. I had the pleasure of visiting Dorchester, UK this week, and I spoke with several members of the Dorchester Association, the Dorset History Center, and the Dorset Museum and Art Gallery about our shared past, much of which hinges around the character of John White. You're going to hear a lot more about John in the following segment, but before we get to it, I want to sincerely thank all of the Dorchester UK folks who participated. Your warm welcomes, your attention to detail, your deep knowledge on the subjects at hand, and your enthusiasm about Dorchester, Massachusetts, it was all a joy to experience. This segment is edited for brevity and clarity, but I hope that you listeners learn as much as I did.
Yes, well, I'm David Cookson, and I got interested in the history of Dorchester when we moved here 20 years ago when I retired, and joined the Dorchester Association, which is where Michael has been heavily involved and really virtually runs it now. And
you're the author of?
And then I'm the author of that book. Now that book came about because the character John White lived in the old rectory in Dorchester, and that was about to be incorporated into the Dorset County Museum as part of their expansion plans. And so it seemed to be a good idea to sort of focus on this aspect at the time.
And figure out who he was?
And indeed, yes, and I think the hope was that perhaps some people would be interested in Boston in contributing to the cost of it. So that was the idea. And then So I was on a little committee, and I said, "Oh, I'll write a little book." And so that's how that materialised.
Yeah.
And it was just really for publicity, and it was on sale in various places. I think it may still be about 1 or 2 copies available around the town.
Okay.
But basically, it's now just available through Amazon.
And what are we drinking, Michael?
This is
It's a Green King beer. It's called. I'm not sure what it's called actually.
Green King. Actually, it's not run around here at all.
Yes, no, it's-
Okay.
it's-
Because where your hotel is has that was the part of the site of the local brewery and Eldridge and Pope. And
We've seen the crests on some of the
that's right.
old pubs. Yeah.
So there's no local beer here now.
Okay.
So
Okay.
this is the best we can do. But this is British beer.
It's good.
Bury St Edmunds.
Yes. Yes, I've lived in Bury St Edmunds before now.
So I want you to walk us through kind of what's in the book, which is what John White was doing here, what encouraged him to start thinking about the colonies and why folks should move there,
Yes.
and then where he ended up. He never came to
No, he never did.
Massachusetts, but
No.
he was very invested in it.
Yes. Yes. As far as John White was concerned, he became rector in Dorchester, responsible for 2 churches. That's St Peter's, and then also Holy Trinity up the street,
Okay.
which has now been rebuilt. So it's not the original building. And then there was a 3rd church down the road, All Saints, which is the junior church, really.
Yeah.
And so he was came from very good academic background from Oxford,
Okay.
and was clearly quite a striking individual. But for the first year or 2, he wasn't making that much impact apart from the faithful.
And there was a lot of debauchery and carousing. And
There was unemployment,
Yeah.
and people, so this was the part of the trouble, and so there was too much drinking and
Yeah.
fighting and all that sort of thing.
And this is 16.
1610,
Okay.
roundabout, you.
Okay.
The traumatic thing was the fire in 1613, and about a third of the houses were burnt down, including many businesses. So all their stock was lost.
And there was no. Where were they getting water from to put it out? How far did they have to?
Well, there's a river down there. I don't know.
Yeah.
I suppose they got it from the river.
Okay.
But the thing is,
How long did it
Wells.
burn?
Wells?
wells, there would be wells as well.
Okay.
Yeah, well, of course, there's the town pump.
Right.
So they get a
right.
certain amount, yeah.
And it started with a tallow fire
Yeah, that's-
at the candle shop.
yeah.
And then how long did it burn?
Well, it burned for some time.
Okay.
Now, the thing was, a lot of the fit people were out in the fields helping with the harvest.
Right.
The second thing was that under the Shire Hall, there were barrels of gunpowder.
Yes.
And so, although the prevailing wind actually was taking the fire away from there, people
Didn't want to risk
didn't
it.
want to risk it. So they, first thing was that they went down and got the barrels, rolled them all up the hill, out of the way.
That doesn't
And
sound
only
like
then
an
did
easy
they really
task.
start on the fire. So that made it more devastating
Yeah.
than ever.
And the people in the field saw the.
Yes, they would
the
come rushing
smoke,
back.
yeah.
So it would take them a while to get back to them.
And it would have to be quite big before they noticed it.
And of course, what you've got, all the upper part of the buildings was wood, so
Right.
it would burn very easily.
Yeah. So what proportion of the town lost its homes?
I
And
think it's something about a third.
Oh, wow.
Again, details in the book.
yeah.
But fortunately, there was only one elderly lady who died,
Okay.
so it wasn't as. But it did have a devastating effect on the morale
Sure.
of the population.
Yeah.
And people were grasping around looking for who's going to lead us out of this. And this is when John White stepped in,
Okay.
and with the leading citizens of the town, he helped them to rally round and not only just rebuild what was there, but change the whole nature of Dorchester society.
So
That-
talk about John before this. He was a Puritan.
yes.
And what does that mean?
Well, he was a follower of Calvin.
Okay. And that was not in vogue in
Well, it was a time of change in that there was quite a population who were sympathetic to that.
yeah.
But at that time, it was tolerated, and he was a ordained minister of the Church of England. But after these events, after the fact of founding of Dorchester, Massachusetts, the whole complexion of the Church of England changed
Okay.
with Archbishop Laud, who tried to make the Church of England more like the Roman Catholic Church in terms of ceremonial and language and all that sort of thing. And so that is when religion became a factor in emigration.
Okay.
It's not really a factor at this stage.
Okay. But so he was not a rigid Puritan. He was more.
He's not a rigid one,
Yeah.
no.
There were sects
some,
that were. Yeah.
John White remained within the Church of England the whole time,
Okay.
and he was more tolerant in any case. And this was the strain that he wanted to promote in the new settlement.
Right. Okay.
And that's why, as I was saying earlier, some of those people who have felt that things were getting a bit too strict in Massachusetts took the opportunity to go to Connecticut.
Yeah. Right.
And they founded a Dorchester there, which then changed its name to Windsor,
Windsor, which
So
it is today.
which
Yeah.
is Windsor today.
So he was trying prior to the fire to instill these Puritan, but not rigidly Puritan
right.
beliefs, but they were kind of being taken or left as people felt fit. But then once the fire hit,
Yeah, then
he
the-
was able to
yeah,
use
that's right.
those structures.
And there was a form of social security. People were helped financially.
Yep.
There was also what they called a hospital, but in fact it was rather like a care home for children and young people.
Okay.
And they were cared for and taught a trade.
Okay.
And
They actually were displacing merchants, I think I read in your book. So the merchants were a little annoyed with them.
yeah, it's quite interesting. But they also they founded a brewery, and this was a double thing. One, it was helped to fund all this charitable work. The other thing was that they gave the council the opportunity to close down all the unlicensed.
So it kind of concentrated the drinking to one area.
And it's under control, and I suppose it probably moderated the strength of the beer. Because, of course, a lot of people, they didn't drink water, so they drank small beer, so even children.
Yeah.
It was,
So they did the rebuild after the fire.
yes.
And this was, how long did it take to get the town back to?
Well, I suppose probably over the next 5 years or so.
Okay.
Oh, the other thing was the almshouses. There were a couple in town already.
We saw one
and
today.
And Napper's Mite is one of those that was built. I think this is outdated. 1636, is it?
I thought it was 16.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was 1615.
No,
Was it?
yes, could be. That's perhaps when it was founded. Yes.
Yeah.
So yes. Because
1615,
because
okay.
again, so you've got somebody who's got some money to put into it.
And that was their space for about 10 men who were...
Yes, there were some for men,
Poor.
some for women, and some
Okay.
for couples.
Okay.
So his concept really was what became embodied in the term Commonwealth. Everybody sort of working together.
Yeah.
And of course, he was sympathetic to the ideas of the parliamentarians in the subsequent civil war in England.
Yep.
And it was that was the support of this concept why they had the Commonwealth, because it was say people caring for each other rather than just the stratification in society. And each
Which is
does
more
its
what the
best.
royalists were
Yes,
supportive of.
yeah,
Okay.
that's right.
So when did the Civil War start?
1642.
Okay. So
About then, yes.
so the settlers had already
Yes,
left by then.
yeah, they'd gone then. But of course it did, yes, so it increased the number of people who went over there.
So he saw what was happening post-fire and really liked what had become of the town
That's right.
and decided this should be exported to?
Yes, it started
colony.
with a concern for the fishermen.
Okay.
And of course, not Dorchester at all, it's down in Weymouth.
Yeah.
But he was aware that the fishermen were going off for about 9 months of the year and going across the Grand Banks and then the east coast off New England and fishing. Treating they had to take people there to prepare, salt down the fish and then sail back, possibly via Spain, to sell it and then come back. And John White was concerned that it was all very well, but they had no spiritual guidance with them.
Okay.
They had no minister to care for their spiritual needs. And he had this idea, which no doubt talked around with other people, that there would be opportunity for these people who are looking after the fish, preparing the fish, to stay there. And this started with an attempt to found, 1623, found a settlement at Cape Ann that then moved to Salem.
Okay. So Cape Ann is in Gloucester, modern day Gloucester.
Yeah, that's right.
And was there anybody there already, or was this?
The Pilgrim Fathers had just a base there.
Okay.
But they didn't live there, anybody. So it was a vacant thing.
Okay.
The trouble was, it was not a very fertile land.
It's quite stony.
Yeah, that's right. So they decided that. Also, it was funded purely from Dorchester, and so the funding sort of rather dried up.
Yeah.
So some people stayed, and so they moved to Salem.
So they tried this first
That was
Cape
it.
Ann one
Yeah.
that didn't go so well
Yeah.
because the fish trade dried up as well, right?
The fish trade dried up as well. Yeah.
Why was that?
War with Spain.
Yeah. Okay.
So the market
Yep.
in Spain dried up.
So then they moved to Salem,
Yes.
but they became overly Puritan. Is that what happened? The
Well,
religious.
I think, as far as things were concerned, Salem was just carrying on at that stage.
Okay.
And so it had some good people there.
Yeah.
But John White kept in touch with them. There seemed to be quite regular communication.
It's quite interesting that was possible.
Yes, I know. This is what I thought at the beginning. But obviously it takes some time to get across and back. But
So who was going there from here? Who was in the first round of folks that went over? What types of people were they? And I'm sure you're guessing to some extent.
I'm guessing to some extent.
Yeah.
I think there probably were a mixture of merchant type people and folk who were looking for work. It's interesting, just jumping a bit, this is to Dorchester, where you're probably aware of Roger Clapp's description.
Yes, yep.
Now, he was one of five brothers, one of five brothers, and so it was a case of there probably wasn't any opportunity for him, so let's go where there's some opportunity.
Right. Because the fifth son doesn't have a whole lot.
Well, that's the thing.
Yeah.
So I think it's probably something like that.
So was it religious freedom they were looking for, or was it really more of just adventurousness?
Well, let's bring in the other elements.
Okay.
Because John White knew a lot of people.
Yeah.
And so one of the key people to provide the contact with the authorities in London was Sir Walter Earle, who had a big estate just a few miles east of Dorchester at Charborough. And he had already invested in Virginia, and so he was up for any kind of investment.
Was the Virginia investment lucrative?
Not really, no. No, the family became rich on the slave trade, I have to say.
Yeah.
Something, but
yeah.
So he was, but he had the contacts, you see, and he could head up a meeting, and everyone would respect him.
Okay.
The other element is trade, and I think you have to realise there are quite a lot of people trading, surprising number. You sort of think there'd been just the local Native Americans. No, I mean, I said mention about Weymouth. It wasn't occupied around the year, but there was a base there which they could use for trading. And one of the big traders in Dorchester, Richard Bushrod, did trade over in New England.
Okay.
And fur and that sort of thing. And so he was interested in anything that would increase his opportunities for developing his business.
So John approached these gentlemen and
That's
said,
right.
we should think about this. What was it called? The Dorchester
Company.
Company?
Company, yes, founded the Dorchester Company first.
Okay.
That was then wound up because it was
Couple failed attempts.
failed attempt. But he didn't give up,
Yeah.
and he still carried on. Again, you sort of think about, I don't know how long it took to get to London from Dorchester.
Well, when you wrote about, they found another ship and then another ship, and I'm thinking, how much did these ships cost?
Yeah,
And they
well-
were fitted to go across the Atlantic, which means they were pretty robust ships. I don't know where they came up with the funds for this.
Well, but as far as the Mary and John concerned,
Which was the one that
they
landed in Dorchester.
yeah.
Yep.
That was funded by the ship owner who sailed with it.
Okay. The captain who
So,
was.
in other words, John White had a good eye for where the opportunities, where money was.
And made good connections.
A bit like saying here,
Yeah.
where the Duchy of Cornwall approached people to sponsor various things for their new model village of Pounding.
Right.
See, this is the same kind of thing.
Right.
So you can find people who've got the money and who get inspired by the ambition, and that was where John White, I think, had his talent.
He must have been a pretty inspirational man.
Yeah, yes. I mean, right up to the time of the Civil War, he was going up to London, and he was part of one of the major committees in London that became the Commonwealth, and up until his death. So he was right at the heart of things.
Well, I'm thinking about when he was trying to persuade them to invest in a third expedition after the first two must have cost them sunk money that they weren't getting back, and he somehow got people to.
He did, yes, I think that's it. But no, so he was trying to get people to follow this vision and develop it and learn from the mistakes. But and by putting more money in, it should have a greater chance of success.
Yeah.
And so various people were involved, and of course particularly the name of John Winthrop is one that comes to the fore, because he became the leader, really.
Okay.
So that was when they're planning for this expedition in 1630. But John White felt he wouldn't be wholly in control of the main expedition. So that was why he did his own little separate thing that he could be in touch more closely with and could control and follow the way in which things developed.
And this was the ship, the Mary and what was it called?
Mary and John.
Mary and John. Okay.
It was a standard form of build at that time. So originally it may not have been the actual Mary and John, but it's near enough to give an idea.
But it wasn't a ship built for this, right? Did they buy a ship from someone, or was
Yes,
it?
well, I suppose I say it was a model of ship you can get, a cargo ship.
Okay. And how many people were on that? About 100?
140, I think.
Okay. And they sent livestock and things as well,
But,
like cows.
oh yes,
and-
yes,
yeah,
oh
yeah.
yes. And the thing is, again, you have to remember that ships kept going over, taking more stuff.
Yeah. How long did it take, generally, to get across? 6 weeks?
Depends on the weather.
You're right.
I mean, there's this account of one of the voyages where they set off from Plymouth, and at the end of the first day, they were off the Isle of Wight, which is
No,
the wrong direction.
the wrong way.
Because the wind was involved,
Right.
and the currents and all that sort of thing. So.
But they generally took kind of the northerly route,
northerly route,
and then
yeah,
came
yeah.
along Nova Scotia
yeah,
and
that's
Newfoundland.
right.
Right.
That seemed
Okay.
to be the favoured route.
So they're on this ship, and they tried to land at the Charles. Is that right? They tried to go
That
to the
was
Charles.
well, that was what the captain was told they should do.
This captain's name was,
Swim.
and he was not loved.
Well, because he was, I mean, I think he did his job.
Yeah.
But he wasn't committed to the expedition
Right.
in itself. So you do get this thing that's very well described in Roger Cap.
People wrote nasty things about him.
Oh, yeah, well, they did, yes, because they felt totally betrayed, you see. He just dumped them and,
Right.
get stuff off
Right.
here, see.
Kind of
And-
booted them out the ship and left.
Yes.
So they tried to land at the Charles, and
Yes.
instead they couldn't. What?
So that was close to there.
Okay.
So one group split off and went up the Charles River.
Okay.
And that's described by Roger Clapp. And that was their first encounter, that particular group, with Native Americans.
Okay.
And of course, they wondered what it was all about, because, of course, it was a matter of curiosity, I
Right.
suppose, who were these people.
I think you described that they were lining the banks of the river as the colonists were coming up. Yeah.
Yeah, quite. So, but they found somebody, a trader who's already there.
Okay.
And he was used to dealing with the Native Americans, so he got them over that hurdle.
Okay.
But in the meantime, another group had gone further down the coast, and they found this place that they thought was suitable, with this headland, and so it had a harbour either side, and there was a river coming down.
And that was the Neponset River.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they said, this is the better site, we'll settle here. And so this managed to meet up with the others and bring them down.
Okay.
And that was what became the site, was going to become Dorchester.
But it was not that simple, because they were not prepared for winter.
That was a problem. And of course the first year was pretty awful.
Yeah. Did they lose anyone?
I don't think
It didn't
so,
seem like
no,
it, yeah.
No, but I mean, get the impression that some of the people dug holes in the ground and things like that. But of course the ship would have taken over the elements of some buildings.
Okay.
So, they talk about kit houses.
Yeah.
They did kit houses. And
Like from Sears. They,
yeah,
they
yeah.
just took them off and built them.
Yeah.
But they also had kind of glorified tents, right? That they.
Oh yes,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
right. So that was the thing. You should dug a depression in the ground and,
Yeah.
And put the tent over. And,
Yeah.
But of course, then as soon as you start a fire, where's the smoke go? so it's pretty horrid. And I think winter came early that year.
And
So it was very tough.
And they brought some root vegetables and
Mm.
things, but then they needed to fish. They
They
relied
need
pretty
to
heavily
fish.
on
Yes,
fish.
that's
yeah,
right.
yeah. I've heard tell that they were able to put a basket in the Neponset and pull out fish. It was so populous at that time.
Oh yes, there was a special little fish. I've forgotten it.
Alewives.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
right. Yes, because that was then, of course, what's his name? Israel
Stoughton. Yeah.
Now, see, he was a chap with money behind him,
Okay.
and
And he made more when he.
he did make more because he obtained the right to have the mills built over the river.
Yeah.
And so, of course, everyone had to come through him to get things done. So.
He was able to take advantage of the mill, and so his fortunes grew quite a bit.
Yes,
in
yes, that's
Dorchester.
right.
Yeah.
But of course, say the more people coming over, more cattle and so on.
Yeah.
And they were also then talking to the Native Americans who helped by them.
Yeah. In what sense? How
Well,
did
it's
they help?
first to clear the ground.
Okay.
They weren't very efficient at it. And the other thing was crops.
Yeah.
And of course, the Native Americans already had crops that they knew would grow.
In a different way than
Yeah.
the colonists knew how to do, right? So they were
Yeah.
doing beans quite a bit.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
yeah. So then Dorchester, the UK, or US rather, grew up quite a bit over the next few years.
It did, yes.
Yeah.
People, yes. So they sort of built a meeting house,
Yep.
a church, and everyone then had it was all laid out on the basis that you have houses that are reasonably spaced apart with a paddock
Okay.
behind it, so you're going to grow vegetables or have animals or both.
Okay.
And then you have the right to take animals out to pasture,
Okay.
either on the headland or on the land that is newly cleared.
Do you have any sense of what Boston was at the time? Because Dorchester was not part of Boston.
No,
Was
no, it
Boston a thriving city at this point, or?
Well, no, it's a new community,
Okay.
but it had more resources.
Right.
Because it's a much bigger
Right.
group, started at Boston. And so essentially that's where the leadership is taken over.
Okay.
But then they get this devolved system of government.
Yeah.
And so you have people at local level, like in Dorchester,
Yeah.
who had representation to the central group.
Okay.
So I should mention the name of Roger Williams.
Yes, yeah.
Because he again, he was very liberal in his views.
Okay.
And he learnt the local language and so on. Because-
Meaning the Native American language.
Yes,
So
yeah,
okay.
and of
Yeah.
course there's several different languages.
Yeah.
around it.
Yeah.
I mean, the other thing that started me off on this period was that when I retired, I thought I want to do something. I was a lawyer, and when you stop being a lawyer, you can't practice law anymore.
Okay.
So I thought I'll study something, and I chose on an individual, Henry Vane the Younger,
Okay.
and he was one who was. This is the time of Charles I, and his father was in very senior position in government. But the son was a bit of a rebel,
Okay.
and the king had a bit of a soft spot for this son of a, was to become a close colleague, really.
Okay.
And so he said, I'll send him off to America for 3 years. And
Because he wanted him gone, or because he?
he's out of the way.
Yeah.
So he did, you see. And so he was then, after a year or so, became a governor at a very young age. Upset a lot of people.
Governor of what? Which?
Massachusetts.
Of the entire. Okay.
Yeah, the
All
whole-
of those settlements he
Massachusetts.
covered. Okay.
Yeah. But this was also part of his remit, was to see if they could get a foothold in Connecticut,
Right.
because the Dutch already had one or two places.
Because they were in New York. They had settled New York.
Yes, they got New
Manhattan,
York,
yeah.
but also got one in Connecticut, which
Okay.
is, I think it was Windsor that they occupied on a part-time basis.
Okay.
So,
But they didn't overwinter there?
well, I'm not sure about the
Okay.
details of that,
Okay.
but that was why that was identified as a possible place to go.
Yeah. To beat the Dutch.
And of course, it's more fertile as well.
Much more fertile. And then, so then the Connecticut expedition happened.
Yes.
Talk about that.
Oh, about Ludlow. What was I forgot his christening now? Yes, they decided, a group of them, there were people who were coming all the time, adding to the number in Massachusetts, and Dorchester was growing and growing population.
Okay.
And so some people there say, well, no. And also Richard Ludlow fell out. He didn't get the particular job he was after.
Okay.
And so he decided that they would go to explore the possibilities in Connecticut.
Okay.
And so, but in order that they could take enough animals and all their stuff, it was too expensive and too difficult to go around by sea, which is the easy way.
Yeah.
So they went across land along the Indian Trail.
Right.
And
Which
here
was
again,
not easy.
no, it wasn't easy. But here again, you should understand that the contact with the Native Americans was generally easy and sympathetic
Positive, yeah.
and positive. And
They wouldn't have made it, right? Because the native populations gave them supplies and
yes,
helped
that's right.
guide them. Yeah.
And also, say, on this journey across.
Yeah.
And and the overwinter, winter came early, and most of the people had to come back again. They just left a very small group. And,
Who didn't fare very well.
No, that's right. So eating nuts or acorns and things. But so then the following year they were able to get it established.
Well, they sailed the following year, right? They were able to get it. Didn't they come to the harbor and there was a ship there
Yes,
that they
that's
kind
right.
of commandeered?
Yes, that's what.
But it ran into a sandbar.
Yes, yes. So they didn't get away straight away. They did eventually, and take some stuff off the ship.
I can
So,
Picture that.
yeah.
Okay, here we go. Oh, we're ahead of sandbar.
That's about it.
Because initially they were stuck in ice, and they
Yes,
got
yes,
out of the ice and hit the sandbar. Yeah.
So it was a bit of a nightmare, really.
Yeah.
But they're just so determined
Right.
to do this.
Do you think the quality of determination was part of what is what drove these folks there, and is still part of the Dorchester kind of descendants?
Probably, yes, because
Yeah.
yes, you're sinking your whole life into this project,
Yeah.
and how can you go back?
Right.
For most people, there wasn't a way back because family had taken over the farm and or whatever the business, and so there would be nothing for you there.
Right.
And so the only option really was to soldier on and do the best you can.
It's kind of shocking how little loss of life there was. I mean,
Yes,
most of them seem to have survived, even when unexpectedly the waterways froze solid and
Yeah.
they didn't have water.
yes. I mean, obviously, disease was
Yeah.
an old issue there, and of course,
Yeah.
this was one of the saddest things: is the way that diseases were introduced into the Native
Indigenous people.
American.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
again, I suppose it's indicative of the close relationship
Right.
that was that the diseases could be communicated
Right.
in that way.
Now, there was one moment where the native populations actually did get militant against the Connecticut folks, right? Where they,
Yes, well, there was one group,
Yeah.
it was a Pequot from them,
yeah,
who was sort of at war with everybody.
right. They saw the opportunity to take more
That would make
territory,
it
yeah,
that's
right.
That's the thing.
But they were defeated at Windsor or Dorchester, Connecticut.
Yeah, so it's. I think it's fair to say that at the back of John White's mind was the thought also of evangelism,
Yeah.
that he was
Well,
taking.
he wanted to convert the native population
did,
too, right?
yeah. But in a sympathetic manner.
Yeah.
I think that was it. That's right. It was the argument about settling generally was addressed by a document almost certainly written by John White, and that was a model for all of the settlers. And it did face up to this issue of, is it our land to take? And they said that the natives in New England, quote, enclose no land, neither have they any settled habitation, nor any tame cattle to improve the land by, and so have no other than a natural, that is to say not a formal legal, right to those countries. So if we leave them sufficient for their own use, we may lawfully take the rest. And that was the justification. There being more than enough for them and for us. But the ideal was that they would live peacefully side by side.
Yeah. I mean, they're not using it the way they should be anyway, so we'll just come and take it. There's room for both.
Well, of course, they did do treaties
Yeah.
with the local chiefs.
And the local tribes generally honored those treaties, it sounds like.
Yes, I think, yeah.
Yeah.
So this is one of the things that Henry Vane, going back to him, when there was trouble, so somebody fired on a group of Native Americans and so on, and there was a deputation, and Henry Vane was then advised by Roger Williams the way to deal with it, to talk to these people.
The idea.
Yes, the very idea. So he, in fact, they were invited to the town, and he received them, and they were given hospitality, and they made peace.
Yeah.
And that was, but obviously there's some people, the first thing you do is reach for their gun.
Yeah, right.
And I think that obviously the two elements there.
Right.
But John White was very much in favour of the living
Peaceful,
side by side.
yeah. So close this up with John White's end. He never came.
He never came, no. He got involved in things in London.
Okay.
And but still very much the people who are in touch with Massachusetts generally.
Was he pleased?
I don't think he ever said.
I don't know that it was the Puritan expansion that he had hoped for.
Probably not, no, but he would have just been looking positively as that
Yeah.
there was still something going further forward.
Yeah. It's
And
quite a
then-
legacy.
But of course he then got caught up with all the quasi-political discussions in
Yeah.
London as part of the Civil War.
Okay. So his wife passed before him,
Yeah.
and then he was still carrying on as the minister of the two churches, right?
Yes, I don't know. I mean, he's supposed to have gone through the whole Bible twice. And
With an audience.
Bible study. And
Didn't
so-
it take about 6 years or something to get through the...
Oh yeah, probably. But that's the kind of things he was doing.
Yeah.
So how he managed to do all this, talk to all these other people, he had all these contacts. So it's toing and froing,
Right. And reading the Bible
and
through.
reading the Bible, and then going up to London.
Right.
Which I say, how long it took.
Founding a colony.
yeah. That's right.
Yeah.
What you do. So,
He had some energy.
yes, didn't
Yeah.
have television, of course.
Right. Did he... So he passed away...
Yes, I mean the people were distraught when he died.
Yeah.
And so the porch of St. Peter's Church was just draped in black for a long period.
So he remained popular
Oh yes,
his whole
he did.
life. Okay.
Oh yeah.
So what do you think John White's legacy is?
I would hope the thing I always look to is his concept of Commonwealth. That everybody has a contribution to make.
Yeah.
And to each other and so on. And the Commonwealth looked not just to their own interests, but they had regular collections for charitable purposes. When there was war in Germany and the Palatinate Church there was suffering, they sent contribution of money to a collection. And it's that kind of wider concern for people, I think.
Yeah.
That was the thing I would like to see as his greatest legacy.
Yeah.
So I'm Anthony Harrison. I'm the Dorchester Town Crier. I've been in that role for about 18 months now. I'm an unofficial ambassador for the town. I help people understand why Dorchester is a good place to come and visit, to live or to work, or all three. So I help people understand what's going on in terms of new events, new shops, new restaurants, new businesses opening, things like that. And anytime there's any ceremonial duties, traditionally it'll be things like the birth of a royal prince or princess. Then yes, there'll be a formal announcement, and I'd be called along to help everybody understand what's happened. This is one of the 7 museums
There's 7 museums in
in
Dorchester.
Dorchester.
Wow.
There we are. This is the Keep Military Museum.
Oh, very cool.
This was the gatehouse to what was the military barracks. So that contains a lot of military memorabilia.
And what year are we looking at this being?
This was second half of the 19th century.
So welcome to Dorset History Centre. This is our inquiry desk. My colleague Anna is here. If we can just get you to sign in as a temporary search room. We've got out a variety of documents that we think could be of interest. Obviously, you'll have to guide us on whether that's the case or not. And I've drawn up a little list. So we've got things like a programme for the tercentenary, 1930, which you may well have seen before because it appears to have come from Dorchester, Massachusetts.
Sure, we have a copy.
Yeah.
Very interesting. So this is from 1930, okay.
Yes. So it's quite striking. And then we have things like, just my way around, a genealogy of one of the descendants of somebody who came over from Dorchester, a chap called Thomas Swift.
Am I allowed to touch things?
Yes, please do. And I'm just giving you an overview here, but I will let you sit down and actually look at things properly. So we got that out. There is a memorandum from the Mayor's Office of Boston relating to the Reverend John White's part in promoting settlement, dating from 1917. There's a notebook with some printed items and loose letters about connections. This comes from St. Peter's, Dorchester.
Okay.
So it's about the relationship between the two towns, and correspondence arising out of a visit of the rector of All Saints, Dorchester, Massachusetts, to St. Peter's in the 1950s.
Dorchester made its money from beer and wool,
Okay.
right?
I saw some sheep on the way up here.
Yep. If you get a chance to go down to a pub called the Blue Rattle,
Okay.
that has a picture on the back wall, a painting by a local artist called The History of Dorchester in Sheep and Beer. And it has a series of tableaus through the ages, all the way from before pre-Roman times, of how Dorchester developed as a market town. It's the county town of Dorset, and has always been its admin centre,
Okay.
even if it's not a geographical centre.
Who was here before the Romans?
There was an Iron Age settlement.
Okay.
So the Romans are chapter 2 in the history of Dorchester.
Okay.
Chapter 1 is a big Iron Age settlement outside of Dorchester called Maiden Castle.
Okay.
And it's the biggest hill fort in England.
Wow.
It's a series of ramped embankments built into a natural mound that provides a big flat area at the top, which is where the town first developed.
So what are we looking at here? This is the High Street.
This is High West Street,
Okay.
up until you get to where the clock tower is, that when it changes into High East Street.
Okay.
So this is the main thoroughfare. This is where the main road from London down to Weymouth used to come through before the bypass was built.
Okay.
Before the trains came to Dorchester in the around about 1830, the only way to connect to London was via horse-drawn coaches.
Okay.
So there were coaching houses. The main ones are King's Arms down here, the Antelope, and that one we just passed, the Royal Oak.
Okay.
There were coaching houses where there'd be regular weekly or daily coaches that go to London or other cities around, and they would stop here, change the horses,
Spend the night.
stay overnight,
Yep.
coaching inns, that kind of thing. This is Holy Trinity.
Holy Trinity. Okay. Which was also here when John White was here.
Yes.
One of the three.
We'll cross over that way and have a
Okay.
look. So they have there's a war memorial there. Churches are normally open, so you should be able to go inside if you want to.
Okay.
And then opposite here, this is Judge Jeffreys. So he was known as Bloody Judge Jeffreys from the Bloody Assizes, which was trying all of those accused of treason as part of the Monmouth Rebellion against the king. A failed coup, in effect. and I think something like 94 people ended up being sentenced to death, of which 70 were executed.
Yikes.
This is St. Peter's, and this is a famous local poet, William Barnes. He was a contemporary of Thomas Hardy.
Who's also from here.
Who's also from here, yes. And William Barnes is famous for the poems that he wrote in local Dorset dialect.
What is the local Dorset dialect? Do you
Ah,
speak it?
No, I don't. I have a very
Do
poor
you cry in
representation.
it?
Oh no, I've only once had to do something. I was asked to be the Master of Ceremonies for the annual dinner of the Society of Dorset Men. And part of that is reading out a letter that's sent every year to the monarch. So that was King Charles III at the time now. And I had to read it out in Dorset dialect.
Did you, was it recognizable?
Yes.
Okay.
It is. It's got a heavy local accent, which I will not attempt. So, this is the Corn Exchange. This is the Town Council offices. They have the council chamber up here with a record of all the past mayors of Dorchester. Judge Jeffreys that we looked at up there, that's the oldest timber frame building.
Okay.
In the early 1700s there were lots of fires because the majority of the houses were still thatched.
Yeah.
And they brought in new statutes saying all houses must have slate roofs.
Okay.
So that's why there's a lot of buildings have not been preserved since before then because they were burnt down. This is the King's Arms. This is one of those coaching inns.
Okay.
And it was made famous in The Mayor of Casterbridge by Thomas Hardy. Okay. There is the main protagonist in that is a chap called Henchard, who ends up becoming the mayor of Dorchester. And there's a scene where they talk about the council having a meeting in this room here, and the windows are wide open, and all the townsfolk can hear the people
it's right here.
debating.
And this
This is now called the Henchard room.
Okay. And this is All Saints?
This is All Saints.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are we jaywalking?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is the origination of jaywalking, Dorchester, UK. We now do it in Dorchester, Mass. What about these facades? So you said some of this sandstone or stone. Is it sandstone?
Limestone.
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 Was from
Portland.
Portland.
So Portland is a. You're not supposed to run on the pavement.
Cheeky.
Portland is a peninsula just south of Weymouth, juts out into the sea, but it's an outcrop of limestone.
Okay.
And it's been quarried for centuries. I mean, this is one of the artifacts that are created from it. This is the town
This is
pump.
of that. Okay.
Right? So this used to be the main source of drinking water before the mains water was put in here. Where there's a campaign underway to reinstate the water source here.
Nice.
The local water company is going to pay for some of it.
Very cool.
But before we do that, we've got to straighten this because it's wonky. It got hit by a truck. And there are metal pins that hold all these pieces together, and we've got approval to get an X-ray done to find out what state those are in,
Okay.
to see if it's safe to move it or if we've got to dismantle it first. But this is the sort of the epicenter, and one of the things I do as town crier, I follow the tradition of my predecessor. So on New Year's Eve at 2 minutes to midnight, I come and stand over here, and I deliver a New Year's cry.
Okay.
And the idea is I finish it just on as the clock strikes midnight. Unfortunately, the clock wasn't working this year, so the bell ringers of St. Peter's, once they heard me ringing my bell, they were there ready to stand by and,
very nice.
and ring their bells.
So what is this street? This is not.
This is South Street.
Okay, and
This is
no
the
traffic, just
The main commercial.
pedestrian.
It's being pedestrianised now, but we've
Okay.
got lots of historical pictures of when this was a a main road,
Yeah.
busy with shops and traffic. But this end of it has been pedestrianised probably 40 years ago, and then the bottom half another 20 years ago.
What you mentioned the Antelope Walk, didn't you? Was that one of those coach?
Yeah, the Antelope Inn was one of these old coaching houses.
Okay.
So you can always tell because they've got features like this. Do you know what this is for?
Stepping out of your coach.
No. This is, as the coaches came through, they had these big wooden wheels
Okay.
with with hubs
Yeah.
that stuck out a few inches, right? And if they cut the corner, it would have taken chunks out of the building.
So it's a bumper.
Right, it's a bumper, right? So if the cartwheels come up against that, that means the hub doesn't touch the building.
It's like those yellow pylons you see at the petrol station.
Yeah.
What's the demographic makeup of Dorchester today? Young, old?
It is quite a retirement magnet.
Okay.
Right. If I just show you these briefly,
Sure.
these are the kind of images that you see of how it used to be.
Oh, nice.
So these are like 100 years old. Some of these ones where they had old-fashioned department stores, but you'll see the same mix of different styles of buildings that are built in. And one of the things we want to look at is how the town has evolved over time.
Yeah.
Have a series of pictures of the same building from the same perspective, make them merge into each other and things like that. So
Yeah.
that's one of our
That's neat.
background projects that the Civic Society are trying to work on. And it's not unique to Dorchester, but a phenomenon of British towns over the past 30, 40 years has been the development of out-of-town retail centres, right? And it's a lot of people complain that town centres are being hollowed out.
Yeah.
We're struggling with banks. I mean, these two buildings on the right here were both built as banks. NatWest is closing in a month. Lloyd's on the corner is already gone. This used to be a big supermarket, Marks and Spencer's. That has just got planning permission for redevelopment as a new Premier Inn, the second one.
Very nice.
But as usual, there's the background of they found asbestos in there, so it needs specialist cleaning.
Mitigation, yeah.
This is Barclays Bank, but this is widely reputed to be the home
Forry.
of the mayor of
Okay.
Casterbridge, as part of the novel, where he had stables out the back.
You're good. Go ahead. Thank you.
So a lot of the scenes are set in this, based on this house.
So was the mayor of Casterbridge, I admit I've not read Thomas Hardy, was he a fictional character? Or, but he was based on the guy who lived here? Or
No,
the fictional character?
The character,
Okay.
from the description, they've narrowed it down. They think it's that particular
Okay.
house.
If I were to read a Hardy, what's the one you recommend starting with?
It would have to be the mayor of Casterbridge because
Okay.
that's centred on Dorchester.
Okay.
I mean, the whole premise is he's a poor guy, lives out in the countryside, is falling on hard times, and ends up selling his wife.
Did you say selling?
Selling his wife to a sailor.
Oh,
Um,
lucky her.
and then lives to regret it. And
you got to
it's-
think
it's-
before you sell your loved ones away.
it's his
you
hidden
know?
secret for the rest of his life that he carries with him, but eventually catches up with him. And in the meantime, he becomes mayor of Dorchester, or Casterbridge. The church would pay for accommodation for usually people beyond working age who were not able to fend for themselves.
Okay.
So before there was any kind of pension, people would throw themselves. So 1616, this dates from. But you get things like this, the green tiles. This used to be a pub,
Okay.
right? So I tell people when I do the tours, look up.
It took me a minute.
So this was the new inn,
Okay.
one of many pubs that used to be in Dorchester. Not so many customers now.
No, it's a chain. Yeah.
My name is Michael Rice. I'm the Secretary of the Dorchester Association for Research into Local History and Archaeology.
What are we going to see today?
we're going to see what's left of the time that the ancestors of the Dorchester people moved out from here. So there's not that much left, because one thing and another, there was a big fire before they left.
Yep.
And also since then there's been a lot of development. So there are buildings from that time existing, but they're within other buildings, a lot of them. But we can see one from here,
Okay.
which we'll have a look at in a minute.
Okay.
Which is just a relic which has survived miraculously. It's a timber frame building which would have had wattle and daub filling with a thatched roof.
How did it not burn?
Well, the fire went the other way, but it was simple as that. It's now covered. It's now brick coated, and it has a tiled roof as well. But you can see the shape of it. It's actually dates from about 1480. That one. So.
Oh wow. What was it at the time? Just a home? Or?
Just I've absolutely no idea. But
Really?
It could have been a home. It might have had a shop underneath. Who knows? I don't. You see the building with the pent roof and the tall chimney.
Yeah.
That dates from about 1480. So that's a sort of place.
The one with all the birds on the roof.
No, that's the town hall.
Okay.
But it's
Oh,
the
right in
building-
front of it.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
It's a small building.
Yep. This
With-
guy right here.
Yeah.
Right here.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And this is from 1480.
Roughly 1480. Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so it was bricked over after a time.
At a later date, yes.
Yeah,
yes.
okay.
But yeah. But the original timber frame is still inside.
Wow. And what was this?
That's the front of the building we saw the back of.
Oh,
That's the-
really? This? Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
So you wouldn't know it.
No. Okay. So this nail salon was built in 1480. They needed the nails done way back then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really my period.
Okay. What is yours?
I can go earlier.
You more the Roman time frame?
Neolithic,
Okay.
bronze,
Yeah.
Iron
So
Age.
talk about that. What was here prior to?
Right,
Romans.
okay. Well, actually, Dorchester is quite a major Neolithic site. There are a lot of Neolithic monuments around. I can show you one or two today. But there were large henges, 3 within a very short distance in the Dorchester area. There's one not far away from where you're staying.
Oh, this is the henge.
This is a henge, yeah.
Okay.
Which was later adapted into a Roman amphitheatre.
Okay.
So,
And then a Civil War army camp?
yeah, artillery.
And we don't know what the henge was for.
No. No, of course, nothing was written down, so.
Right. And it's a pretty distinct ring, though.
Yeah.
So they knew what they were doing.
Oh, yes, a lot of earth moving in those
Yeah.
days. All with very basic tools.
Yeah.
Antler picks. Yeah. So, yeah.
Oh wow, it's quite big.
It is, yeah. There are still performances in here in the summer.
Oh really?
Yeah.
How are the acoustics?
I think that should be okay.
Yeah, I
actually.
would think so.
Yeah. Yes. And this has also been used for executions in the past as well. So
Huh.
there was a woman burned here a couple hundred years ago. Not very nice.
Who would that have been during the?
Well, she poisoned her husband, and
Okay.
that was supposedly.
Can we go up it?
You can if you want to.
All
yeah,
right.
yeah. So the Romans heightened it when they made it into an amphitheatre, and there would have been a lot of wood as well,
Yeah.
wooden seating and the
It's quite narrow.
yeah. But presumably they used it for all the normal things that the Romans used for, wild animal fights and things, and
Really, they would have like
so
bears in here and.
probably, yeah.
Wow.
So obviously there would have been a substantial barrier to keep the animals
Yeah.
away from the people.
Did they have gladiator fights in here?
I should think so, yes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, just the normal Roman thing. That's a visible one. But there's another one that's been half destroyed by a
What
road.
is this?
They're preparing to put the trees in the holes.
Oh, they're putting the trees in though.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
so it looked like this,
Yeah.
and where these are is now those circles in the. And
He later dug up a large sarsen stone, which he called the Druid stone, but obviously it must have had stones around it as well.
Yeah.
But further out in the fields, there's a site called Mount Pleasant, which is an enormous site, enormous henge
Okay.
site. So and other monuments of the Neolithic period there as well. So
And what were these hinges? Do we have any idea?
there is a good question. I mean, these people, sort of up to 8,000 years ago, who knows what they were doing?
What were the Neolithic folks like? Why here? Where did they come from? Do we know why they landed in Dorchester and set up?
I think there was a general, after the Ice Age, the last Ice Age ended about 10,000 years ago.
Okay.
There was gradual, because we were still attached to the continent, and there was a gradual movement of people back in.
Okay.
Simple as that.
Yeah. And how did they live here? What did they do to survive?
They were hunter-gatherers mostly. Lots of, basically hunter-gatherers. It wasn't until the Bronze Age that farming really began.
Okay. What were they hunting? What was the...
Well, there are all sorts of things around, things that
Deer?
aren't here anymore. Deer, obviously. Wild cattle, aurochs, they're enormous things.
I've heard of those in Game of Thrones. I didn't know they were real at some point.
But yes. I don't suppose there are any woolly mammoths left at that time. But I think
And they would build their own tools?
stone tools.
Stone tools,
Yes, stone
okay.
tools, yeah.
What happened next? So the Romans came.
No. There was another people movement.
Okay.
The Bronze Age period started, and farming came in, and then there's a whole range of monuments connected to that. Then after that, about 1000 BC, the so-called Iron Age began. That's when the period of the hill forts occurred, and Dorchester has probably, certainly the largest in this country, possibly even the largest in Europe, Maiden Castle.
Really?
It's a very large
I didn't
site.
realize it was that big. So Maiden Castle was, explain that a little bit.
It's
for
a
me.
hill fort, so it's a series of banks and ditches which could be fortified. It would have a palisade along the top.
Okay.
But people at one time lived in there.
It was a scoop. They would live in the middle, and then they built out walls around it.
It wouldn't. It'd be earth walls.
Yeah.
Well, chalk actually. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
But enormous ditches, enormous banks. But by the time the Romans came, it wasn't occupied, apart from maybe a small amount of farming going on up there. But that people had moved by that time down into the better areas, out of the wind, because it's extremely windy up there. Yes.
And so then farming was happening all around.
Farming was still happening all around,
Yep.
and the Durotriges, the people that were here before the Romans, still here after the Romans, they lived in better places.
Okay. So why did the Romans come in?
Well, it was generally economic, I think. There were things in this country they wanted. Simple as that.
As well as many other countries.
Yeah.
3 couches. It must have been quite a well-off Roman.
Yeah.
And they built the walls around what is now the city center?
Yes. Originally, it would have just been ditches and banks. And strange enough, Dorchester has got 3 sets of ditches and banks, which is the only place in the country that has such a thing.
Because they were here longer and had more time to do different
I've
things?
no
or-
idea. Well, that's an interesting point, actually. And later on, they added the wall as well.
Okay.
Because there would have just been an inner bank originally.
Yeah.
But yes, there's certainly a wall later on.
This is the last surviving piece of Roman wall in Dorchester. It's not the external face, because that's where all the good stone went. And over time, people said, "Oh, I fancy a bit of that stone," and they pinched it. So this is the inner core of the wall that was left behind.
What is it? What is it made of?
Whatever they could find lying around.
detritus,
Yeah. So
But these walls were all the way around.
yes,
Okay.
so these would have formed part. As it says here, this yellow area,
Yep.
that's the Roman walls. We are just about here.
Okay.
So the northern boundary is the river. That didn't have a wall, but that was the edge of town. But all of these had walls, including big earth ramparts.
These were on top of the ramparts?
Yes, this
Okay.
the rampart would have been there. But in about the early 1700s, they decided to flatten all of the ramparts. Dorchester was expanding,
Yeah.
and they planted a double line of trees across all the walks. So you'll see, if you have a look down here, for example, that line of trees, that's
very
been there
pretty.
for the last 300 years.
It's gorgeous.
No, it was a settlement. It was built
Okay.
as a settlement.
Yeah.
I mean, originally, the legionnaires, as part of their payoff,
Yeah.
after serving their time, would have been granted a piece of land and
Okay.
so on. And certainly, in the museum, you can see the gravestone of one of those that was here at the beginning,
Wow.
called Bassus.
Okay.
See his gravestone. Things happened, and
Yeah.
the Saxons were moving in as well.
Okay.
But they were held up. They were held off here for quite a long time.
Okay. It was inter-country. Like, was this a country at that time? When did it become a country?
That's a deep question.
What makes a country?
Well, I suppose it was brought together. Well, it was brought together under the Romans, obviously.
Yeah.
And it all sort of split up again afterwards. Various Saxon, Anglo-Saxon peoples moving in.
Were they then considered kingdoms? They weren't kings.
They
so-
had their own. Yes, there were kings.
They were kings, okay.
But individual kingdoms.
Okay.
This area was Wessex.
Okay.
And Mercia was another one, Northumberland, lots of, and each had its own king.
Okay.
Eventually, the Saxons, the Wessex folk, King Alfred's people, persevered, and
Why was it called Dorchester?
I think the Roman name was Durnovaria.
Okay. Do we know what that means?
No, but Dorchester. You know, I've never really wondered about that before.
What is it? Because there's a lot of Chesters and.
Oh yeah, Chester. Yeah, Chester means it's a Roman settlement.
Okay.
Chester bit,
Okay.
yes.
It is interesting to me that so many of the towns in New England are the exact same as the towns here. You would think when you left somewhere, you'd almost want to start with something new and interesting, but no, they just took the same exact names.
Yes. Yeah. Well, obviously they still thought of
Thought-
home,
thought well.
didn't they? Yes.
Okay, so we got to the Romans. The Romans left.
Saxons moved in.
Saxons moved in.
Various.
Where's Saxons
Kingdom.
from?
Well, it's Western Europe, so it's North and Western Europe, so it's anywhere from sort of
France or the northern
No,
France?
it would be north of that.
North,
so
okay.
it would be sort of Germany
Okay.
and that area.
Okay. And they moved in why? For resources?
I think it was a general expansion of population,
Okay.
and you know, they were just colonising, I suppose,
Yeah.
as people did in America.
Right.
Moved across America.
Manifest destiny, yeah. So they came here and they fought who was here, or they just settled
I
peacefully?
think that's debatable. I think that they probably just, there
just
probably was
immigrated.
some unpleasantness, but
Yeah.
I don't think it was a mass extinction of the previous people.
Yeah, okay. And so is it predominantly Saxon descendants here now?
I think so, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what did they...
Well,
how did-
actually, having said that, we're in Dorset, aren't we? So it's a very mixed up area here because we're so close to the sea.
Right.
So there's always been seafarers coming in
Right.
from different nationalities.
Yeah. So what did the Saxons do? How did they change the area?
Well, they brought proper administration first since the Romans had left.
Okay.
So they had coinage, they had law and order really.
And what time frame is this?
This is from, well, in this area it's from the 600s
Okay.
through to 1066, I suppose.
Okay. And then what happened in
Well,
1066?
we had the Norman invasion, so
Right.
these ex Vikings that had settled in Normandy
Okay.
came over and took over. After the old king had died, William of Normandy thought that he should be the next king of England.
Was he a descendant of someone? Had he?
It was only through marriage, I think. It wasn't blood.
But he saw an opportunity.
I'm not sure about this. I don't. But
Okay.
anyway, the point is, he wanted this country. The Saxon hierarchy had a different idea, and that they crowned Harold, King Harold,
Okay.
who then had a problem because there was a Viking invasion up north. So he
Okay.
had to march his people up north.
Well, how
gather
far
the
is
people.
north?
Hundreds of miles.
So
So
like-
it's Newcastle side.
New-
yeah,
oh,
yeah,
so
yeah.
that's
that sort of area.
quite far north.
Yeah, yeah. Stamford Bridge, so it's
Okay.
probably a bit south of Newcastle, but I can't remember precisely where that is. But so he had to go up there, and he actually defeated the Vikings.
Okay.
Finally, that was it. Wiped them out. But then he.
So they had been, sorry, those were the ones that had been kind of herring the coast
Yes,
over the
yes.
years. That's right.
Yeah,
Okay.
from sort of the Denmark area,
Yeah.
and that sort of area.
Okay.
But then, after he had word that William had landed in the south, so
Okay.
he had to march back quickly, and it was a pretty close fought thing. It could have gone either way, but in the end, he lost and was killed, and then
Killed in battle or killed?
killed in battle.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then William took over.
Yeah, exactly.
And
yeah.
That's the book
And
on.
And then, things got harder for the people living here.
Oh, really? In what way?
I think they were pretty harsh,
Okay.
the new rulers. And most of the old rulers who hadn't previously gone over to William, of course, that was it. They were out. So
Out as in
replaced by Normans.
Okay. They were executed or jailed or
not
just
necessarily,
deposed.
just disposed.
Okay.
Yeah, yes.
So then, what was Dorchester at that time? Just a growing.
Well, at that time, I think it was just a small town.
Okay.
Well, probably the county town still, but
And what was the industry? Were they doing? Was it mostly?
It was agriculture.
Agriculture. Okay.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
you're
it was a
close
market
to the
town,
sea, but
really.
not on the sea.
No.
So it wasn't much of a port. There's no port. So
no. That's in Weymouth, 10
yeah.
miles away. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when did the
Well,
sheep?
7 miles away actually.
Yeah. When did the sheep start to become part of the Dorchester? Economy.
In the 1500s, that started. That was really
Okay.
the time when sheep farming expanded.
Okay.
And again, the peasants sort of lost out on that because the old way of life changed dramatically again because the landowners wanted the land for grazing, nothing else.
Okay. So they took over the farms and okay. Why was wool sheep trade such a?
It was very profitable,
Okay.
and the English wool trade was exporting all over Europe.
Did they do the processing here, or they just sent the
they
raw
did.
wool?
Not here, no. Generally,
Okay.
processing was done elsewhere, and
Okay.
the manufacturing was done elsewhere. But
Any idea how much quantity was being produced in this area?
no, but it was a vast amount. There
Okay.
were far more sheep than people, obviously, by vast numbers.
Yeah.
Changed by the 1700s because
Okay.
agriculture changed again. It became more modernized.
Yeah.
So crops increased, and landowners made money out of other things apart from sheep. So, and also by then the sheep trade has sort of died a bit because
Okay.
English wool wasn't the dominant market leader anymore because it was cheaper wool on the continent and cheaper
From the US.
manufacture on the continent.
Okay.
So yeah.
So, so between the Norman invasion and the 1500s, what was thriving then? What were the industries? Was it just
It was mostly agriculture, but obviously
but your
all
own,
the things.
right? Like you would just have a farm and raise your own food and not would you
Oh,
have enough to sell?
No. It was
Okay.
Stuff was sold by
Okay.
then. Yeah.
What-
but
what
a lot of it
kind-
was subsistence, but
Yeah.
there was leftovers that were sold at market, and this was a market town.
Local market, or they would export to other towns and
That's an interesting question. I would think it's probably a bit of both.
okay.
Bit of both.
Do you know what they were growing? What was the main crop?
No, it would be probably wheats would probably be
Okay.
the main crop, I would think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And-
Apart from root vegetables, which people needed to live on.
Right.
But wheat.
Yeah. All right. So that gets us to 1500s and wool. Anything else to?
Well, the English Civil War, which
Right.
was this town was strongly parliamentarian,
Okay.
anti-royal, and
Let's back up a minute. Refresh my memory. The Civil War was that a religious based? Was that the Catholic versus Protestant?
Yes, I suppose. Well, no, not
Or
entirely.
ostensibly anyway.
No, it was over
Yeah.
the King Charles I
Okay.
had this idea that he was a divine ruler, and what he
Right.
said goes.
Okay.
And Parliament didn't matter.
We have one of those now. I don't know.
And and Parliament objected to this, obviously.
Yeah.
And one thing or another, Parliament refused to grant him funds.
Okay.
And so he turned nasty, and one thing led to another, and then there was war. Simple as that. Nasty civil war.
Yeah.
A lot of people killed. Went on for some years.
So how long did the Civil War last?
Oh, it was some years.
Okay.
Some years. And I mean, eventually he lost, the king lost and lost his life.
Yeah.
Which was a mistake. They shouldn't have made a martyr of him.
Because that kept the cause alive and people supporting.
Well, the so-called Commonwealth didn't last very long. That was the rule under Cromwell.
Okay.
Because Parliament just couldn't get it together, so
Right.
Cromwell took over basically.
Yeah.
And
Was he the protector, Lord
He was the
Protector?
Lord Protector,
Yeah,
yes.
okay.
And of course, then he tried to start his own line of rulers.
Okay.
He wanted his son to take over. So he really was just replacing the king.
Right. Sounds familiar.
But this didn't go down too well, and in the end, King Charles II was invited back.
By the parliamentarians who said, we.
Yes.
So Cromwell, wasn't he heavily involved in the Irish?
Oh yeah. He started a lot of the troubles.
Yeah, troubles.
That's going on today.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So what did Dorchester? Was there fighting here in Dorchester?
There was a bit.
Okay.
But not a lot.
A lot of sending troops.
Yeah.
And what's the population of Dorchester at that time?
It wouldn't be great.
Okay.
We're talking probably low thousands, I would think.
What is it now?
It's now between 20 and 30,000.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they were supplying troops and occasionally having some fighting here. That ended.
Yeah, there was a bit of a siege, but didn't last long.
Okay. And then what? What time of history are we
Well,
now?
then there was prosperity after that in the 1700s. A lot of the buildings you see in Dorchester date from that period,
Okay.
Georgian period.
Georgian.
So it was the era of the small businessman, the shopkeeper,
Merchant, yeah.
the merchant.
Yeah.
And so the middle classes thrived. So everything blossomed.
Okay.
And everybody sort of had a bit of that. So things went very well. And then that moved on into the Victorian period where...
Well, hold for a second. So this was right before the American Revolution.
Oh yeah, and during it, yes.
Yeah, and how did that impact?
It wouldn't have
Dorchester?
impacted at all.
Not at all.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
There were folks who had gone over
I would
already.
dare say there might have been some people that from this area that served in the military that had gone over there.
Okay.
But I don't know.
Yeah. So then it's Victorian.
Victorian, where Dorchester expanded outside the walls for the first time. So
Okay.
there was lots of housing
So
outside
the Roman
walls.
walls were still up during this whole time.
They had gone, but the boundary was still there.
Okay, yeah.
The walls went in the late 1600s.
Okay. And then the earthen.
Well, they gradually denuded over time.
They needed the
With
space.
development, yeah. There was a major brewery here, which you're
Yeah.
staying on the side of at the
Yep.
moment. And when the railways came, that made it a very large brewery because they had their own rail connection, so they could export all over the country, so even to London.
Okay.
And then we're into the period after the First World War. Right?
Okay.
First World War.
Nothing happened here.
Well, there was a barracks here. So
There was a
yes,
barracks, okay.
yeah. So a lot of people from Dorchester had volunteered to fight and were killed.
Yeah.
So there's a war memorial, long list of names on. Then we had the Depression,
Right.
and then we lead up to Hitler and the Second World War.
And you were right near the channel, quite
Yeah.
close.
Yeah.
So Guernsey, how far are Guernsey and Jersey from here? They were occupied, right?
Yeah, they were occupied. Well, they're a fair distance off the coast.
Okay.
They're far nearer France.
Right. Okay.
So,
But they're in striking distance of Dorchester. I mean,
well, not that far away.
had they decided to invade the actual mainland of the UK, you could have been in the.
Well,
Yeah.
we could have been, yeah.
Yeah. So was there fortifications
Oh
here?
yes.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Yes. You can still see some of the tank barriers. There's one set of tank barriers not far away from here.
Okay. And I assume folks from here were fighting on probably both theaters, right?
Oh yeah.
I mean, what was the life like here? Was it austerity?
I'm from my experience of talking to people that lived through it. Yes, there were hardships.
Yeah.
But people, put up with it.
Yeah,
With
right.
different attitude in those days.
Yeah.
Yeah, made it through. And of course, this area, there are a lot of Americans here preparing for D-Day.
Oh, right.
Sailing from Weymouth.
Okay.
So there were a lot of American camps around here as well, and leading up to that time.
What's it like now?
I think it's pretty good.
Yeah. And you mentioned it's a retiree destination.
Yes, a lot
When
of
did
people.
that start?
Well, it's probably been going on for a long time, but it's just that more and more people can afford to do it now.
Right. And they're coming from
All over the
London
country.
or all over? Okay.
You can hear all sorts of accents around here now.
Yeah. Is it just it's more temperate? It's more. Is this
is
the
more
Florida
temperate.
of the UK?
Yes,
I'm
I
sorry,
suppose.
that's an insult.
Yes, yeah. The
Okay.
weather is kinder down here. Yes.
Yeah. DotLife is supported by The Record Company, Boston's leading provider of accessible music creation spaces. The Record Company is addressing the critical shortage of affordable creative space in our city, serving over 4,000 monthly users across 131 communities. They've preserved 47,000 square feet of professional studio and rehearsal space at rates 60 to 90% below market value, ensuring Boston's musicians have a place to create, regardless of economic means. But they're more than just affordable space. They're building career pathways through partnerships with Bunker Hill Community College, offering professional certification programs that lead to sustainable music careers. This vital work is at risk. As creative spaces continue to disappear across Boston, the Record Company needs community support to maintain these essential resources. Their Amplify Boston campaign directly funds space preservation and career development programs. Visit therecordcompany.org today. That's therecordco.org to donate, become a monthly supporter, or learn about partnership opportunities. Every contribution helps keep Boston's music ecosystem thriving. The Record Company, creating accessible pathways to music creation since 2010. Thank you for listening to DotLife, which is available on Spotify, YouTube, and Apple Podcasts. DotLife is produced and edited by me, Erin Caldwell. Technical support and programming support this week in my absence was provided by Yasser Mahmoud. Additional support is provided by the Dorchester Reporter and the Record Company. Thanks to David Cuxon, Michael Rice, Anthony Harrison, the staff at the Dorset History Center and the Dorset Museum and Gallery, Bill Forry, Dom Hall, Guy Dempsey, and Matt Cook for joining this week's show. Thank you for listening, and we'd love it if you could share, subscribe, rate, and review the pod wherever you listen. If you are interested in supporting the podcast, visit dotlifepod.com for more information.